this is being recorded now, so I can upload later. But yeah, all I will get is everyone public type of chat. So if you have your own chat, make sure you copy and paste that for your own feedback because it won't be recorded on my recording side. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I guess 5 minutes. Does that sound good to you guys? All right. And let's see.
So how does this work? You said with everybody's just going to give a feedback as if everyone else is a judge.
Yep, everyone's going to be a judge. So we're going to actually go down the delegate number here so they get used to their order. The delegates.
Can you guys actually put your numbers on your name?
Oh yeah, do that. Yeah, can you just rename yourselves to your number?
Like put your name and then the number or number and name. Also, like in terms of like doing this, I don't know what works best for you guys, but if you can break everybody into rooms too. So if you want to break it into like smaller groups, we can also do that.
Do you want to do that? Do you want to do a breakout room and you guys each one work with Melanie, each one work with Dare? You guys want to do that? You guys want to do? What do you guys want?
If we have time, I'd rather just do it all in one together.
Sure. Okay. All right, we'll do all in one thing then. Okay, then let's make Dare head judge this round.
Sure.
Right. And we'll do 5 minutes each. We're going to go with the first person, Marissa. You're number 1, right? Can you hear us, Marissa?
Kinda.
Kind of?
The Wi-Fi is really bad, so it's like everything is lagging.
Okay, are you able to? Is it just your Wi-Fi today?
Yeah, it's today. Like everything kind of just went bad after afternoon, and then I couldn't do any of my meetings. Everything kept dropping.
Okay.
And I've like done everything. I've like restarted everything. I've like disconnected. For some reason, it's not working.
Okay, we're gonna try our best. We'll try our best to power through this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I will also set another thing up here for myself later. But okay, so I guess let's go ahead and do it, Dare. And okay, we're just gonna, and Dare, you can call on each and anyone here besides Marissa to ask them your questions. So everyone here besides myself is a judge, except for Marissa, who's in the hot seat right now. Okay.
Okay, wait. So I can call on anybody to give. So I'm supposed to direct the question. Yeah. Like how we did.
Yeah, or I can just go down the line and whoever is like the next one in line, it's whatever you want to basically do as head judge.
Sure. That's gonna be a little confusing. Okay, give me one.
You see everyone's numbers?
Yeah, I can see everyone. So I'll just okay, fine. I'll just call out on a number. Give me just 1 second to pull out. Where is it? Okay. All right. So.
As soon as you start talking, I will put the timer.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to.
And Dare actually played a judge in a practice session, so she knows exactly how this works.
Okay, so I'm ready. All right.
All right. So Marissa's in the oh shit, Marissa freeze.
Yeah, she did. Hey, do you wanna also put the clock on the screen or no?
I'm gonna put the clock on the screen. I'm gonna set up a clock up real quick right here.
Sure.
Shit. Well, if we. Oh, she back. Are you okay now, Marissa?
Hello.
You want to go?
Yeah, I'm ready as long as I don't disconnect.
All right. Well, I guess it's a good round for us to practice testing the clock, pausing, and then having to re-ask if you get glitchy. This which could happen to your interview. All right. All right. I'm ready.
All right. Go for it.
Hi, Marissa. My name is Dare, and I'm the head judge. And I'm just curious, so what is your favorite thing about being a recruiter?
I think my favorite thing about being a recruiter is actually the positive impact that I get to make on people who are looking for such an important thing in their life, which is a job. And by like talking to them and getting to know them a little bit more, I can really help them find their ideal job. I can provide them feedback on how to improve in their interviews or what their strengths are so they can continue to work on those. So I really love that human interaction and being able to help others.
I see. All right, Melanie, would you like to ask the next question?
Yes. Hi, Marissa. What is the most important lesson that young women need to learn today?
I think one of the most important lessons that young women must learn today is really to love yourself. And even though like through bullying and everything like that, just know that you are amazing the way that you are. And it's something that I struggled with a lot as well growing up. I was bullied for things that I couldn't change about myself, for being Chinese. And it really put me in a dark place. I hated myself, but you know, like, you have to really learn that you are here and the only person that really matters is like you loving yourself. Like, it doesn't matter what other people are thinking.
All right. Lan, would you like to ask a question?
Why should you win? What makes you unique?
I think that like we all deserve this opportunity to be Miss Asian Global. We've all worked so hard, and I've seen how my pageant sisters have been growing through this process. But what sets me apart is my passion and my drive to perform my platform, which is to really help provide more opportunity for children to all succeed in life and not feel siloed into traditional jobs, or to break into new roles that they want to do. And so I think that with my passion, I can really uphold the legacy of Miss Asian Global.
All right. Thank you. Tara, can you ask the next question, please?
Yeah, what is one tangible thing you will do for your platform with the title of Miss Asian Global?
I think one tangible thing that I will continue doing if I have the title is to really continue to work with the Boys and Girls Club America. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and being able to be that role model to children and to help them and give them that support is something that I would definitely continue to do.
All right. Olivia, please. You're muted.
What's one of your weaknesses?
I would say, you know, like one of my weaknesses is probably caring too much about what other people think. And it's something that I've done all my life. But I've learned, especially through this pageant, to not really compare yourself to others, because we are all unique. And so what I've really been trying to do is really like focus on what I can do better, but not get so focused on why I might be like less than somebody else, because we are all amazing and we just have to focus on that.
Awesome. All right. Daisy?
If you could be a noodle, what kind of noodle would you be and why?
If I could be a noodle, or if I was a noodle, I think I would be ramen. It's something that is just a staple, and it's always very reliable. Like, you can eat it as top ramen in the middle of night at 2 a.m., or you can eat a more like classy one. It's just something that's always there for you, and you can always rely on it. It's similar to me, like I am a rock in my friendships, and I'm always there, even at 2 a.m. if someone's crying.
All right. Cool. I'm going to ask another question. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I think in 5 years, I really do see myself hopefully higher up as a recruiter. My goal is to eventually become head of talent somewhere, where I can really start to mentor younger recruiters and to teach them the importance of diversity and inclusion, especially in the workplace. So I would hope to be closer to that goal within 5 years.
Awesome. Nana? You're muted.
Hello. Hi, Judge.
Oh, no, you're the judge. You're asking Marissa a question right now.
Okay. Can we escape? Because I don't have.
Okay. All right. Diamond?
He's left the door.
What is your personal philosophy to life?
I think my philosophy is just to be a good person. I know it's very simple, but it is hard to do, like for some people, to just really be good and to really try to help others, especially those that might not be in the same position as you. So really to just go out and try to have that positive impact, which is definitely something that I carry with me in my life.
Okay, so we have about 30 seconds. So I'm curious, what is your must-eat thing in the morning?
My must-eat thing in the morning is cereal. It's something that I eat every morning before work, specifically Honey Nut Cheerios. It's something that I had as a child, and I've just grown up to love it all the time. So I really like it. It tastes really good, and it's what I eat every morning.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, and I had a lot of fun getting to know you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So we kind of finished a little early because I think, so ideally, like we'll try to, if you guys have about 20-30 seconds, we'll try to either ask you a very simple question, or I'm not sure, depending on the actual head judge, if they're going to give yourself to talk about things you want to. I'm not sure what they agreed on, Francis. He could be more clear on that, but they'll still ask you a very simple question at the end if there's not enough time, so that you can still have time to talk about yourself but not waste that. All right?
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, it's so hopefully they were also keeping an eye on the time, and they're trying to ask you a complicated question. What I've told some of the delegates is that if you're answering something and you already see it going down to like a minute, you have a choice. Either end it very quickly and see if they want to ask you a last minute question, or keep on talking.
Yeah.
And then basically talking to the 30-second mark, and then they will basically ask you something very simple like, anything else you want to tell us in the last 30 seconds? And you can just close it off with something like, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate all of you being here, and I've learned so much from my journey here. And so, something nice and gracious just to close it off. Your choice, but you have that to choose from, okay?
Yeah, so for example, in terms of, so you had 30 seconds left and I asked you something about what do you eat? And obviously you want to talk about something you do eat because it's about you, but you also can put a little bit more substance than just saying, I like to eat Honey Nuts, oats, cereal. So like something I would have said for 30 seconds like that, I would say, oh, I started taking on drinking matcha green tea every morning because I'm trying to set a really good morning routine, since with COVID, it's really hard to maintain a good work balance because of stay at home, like work from home. And so doing this, I made it into a routine, and then I do a morning stretch followed by that. And that's just how I like to start the morning. So it gives a little bit more of a substance rather than, just talking about food. Obviously, it's an opportunity to still share something about yourself. So, yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Great. Thank you. Great feedback, Dara. That was awesome. So we're going to, this round, let's have Melanie be a head judge.
Yes, please.
Kimberly, you are up next, number 3. Are you ready, Kim? Yeah, you're ready. All right. So as soon as Melanie asks the first question, I start the time.
Okay. Okay.
Am I muted? Yeah, I'm not. Hi, Kim. I'm Melanie. Let's see here. What is your favorite song and why?
Hi, Melanie. Nice to meet you. My favorite song of the summer is Lost in Japan by Shawn Mendes, the Zed remix to be exact. I think it's a great way to start my morning, a great way for me to get pumped in the morning, and I also feel like it's a great energizer overall.
Thank you. Judge Megan, a question?
Hi. So what brought you into Miss Asian Global?
Thank you. A lot of things has actually brought me to Miss Asian Global. My mentor, Frances, has actually tried to recruit me for several years now, for the past 3 years. And I've actually always said no, or I tried and I just kind of dropped out. And for the main reason was I just didn't have confidence in myself, and I also felt that I wasn't ready. Throughout my experience within the past 2 to 3 years, I felt that I didn't have the foundation within myself to really be here at MAG. So today I'm here because I feel the most awesome, the most confident, and in a way I feel that I want to share my confidence and my knowledge with others as well, which is why I'm here today with MAG.
Judge Stella?
Who would you say is your role model?
Thank you, Stella. Throwing back a little history, I am actually a big fan of Susan B. Anthony. She's no longer with us, obviously, from old age. She died a while back, but she was actually one of the first women activists that really promoted women's rights and women's health. I think it is so important to be a strong role model, and I really looked up to her because she did what was unthought of, and at that time it was women's rights, and for me it was so powerful to speak out against the norm, and which is why I wanted to stand here and present my platform on mental health awareness, which is completely out of the norm within the Asian American community. So overall, Susan B. Anthony is my role model.
Judge Marissa?
What would you say is your favorite childhood memory?
Thank you. One of my favorite childhood memory is actually traveling with my parents. I remember growing up, I loved it so much, and I had the wonderful opportunity to travel with them throughout Asia, and it was so amazing to experience so many different cultures. I remember having a bit of anxiety at that time, but I also didn't realize it was anxiety, and in a way, I was able to recognize it now as I reflect on my life. So one of my favorite memories was probably walking through this garden. I don't really remember where, but it just brought me so much peace and happiness as I was walking through the gardens with my parents in a different country.
Judge Diamond?
What is a pivotal childhood memory for you?
Thank you, Judge Diamond. To be frank, I don't really remember any much pivotal childhood moments, but I will share a moment within my youth, or I would say my college years, which was me being diagnosed with depression, clinical depression. And at that time, I was really struggling showing this to my parents. I was really struggling telling this to my community and asking for support. And I think with this journey throughout my undergrad, it really transformed who I was and who I am today. I think a lot of it really stemmed from my abusive relationship, but I wouldn't regret anything from that. I am really proud to be where I am today, even though it was a strong, pivotal, like traumatizing moment. I wouldn't change it at all because of all the growth that I've endured and overcome.
Thank you, Kim. One question from me. Who are you voting for in this year's presidential election?
Of course. For me, I am a strong advocate to vote in general, and I tell all of my friends to vote because it's one of the best things we can do as an individual to support our community. And this year, I'm actually voting for Biden.
Thank you. Judge Tara?
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is pho. It's a great home food for me because I am Vietnamese. It brings me so much memories and so much comfort.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is pink, just because I think my aura and my energy is so pink and so vibrant, which is what I hope y'all feel today.
Okay, good job. So, quick feedback from me. So if you only have like 20 seconds, you can decide to use that to close it out nice and gracefully, or if you want to risk the 10-second answer, which Melanie gave you. So either way, it's fine. But for me, I'd probably want to take that extra 20 seconds to close out gracefully and give a nice last impression before the thing gets cut off.
Got it. I was unsure where the timer was because there's so many of us on the screen.
Timer when I put it up?
I think for my panel, because my laptop's a bit smaller, so my window,
Okay. So,
yeah, that's just for me though.
It's in this little window right here.
Oh, that's what Tough Wireless is. I was like, who's snapping over there?
Yep.
I was literally just about to ask that.
That is me. Okay, so great job. If there's no other comments directly verbally, then we'll move on to the next delegate. That would be Megan. So you guys notice that every time the interview starts, I will basically turn off my camera and my microphone. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing at the judges room. So I'll be in there with you guys managing everything, but as soon as the interview starts, I shut everything off just so that judges can engage with you. So this time with Megan, I'm going to do it just like I would actually do, which is introduce the delegate to the judges, judge the delegates, and then we start. So let's move it back to you, Dare.
Oh, move it back to me. Give me a second. Oh boy. 1 second. I will tell you in 20 seconds that I will be ready. 20 seconds. I'm just trying to think of a question from.
While you're getting ready. Okay, so while you're doing 20 seconds, I'm going to go ahead and show you how this happens. I'm going to pop. Who's next? Megan. Megan, I was like, all right, Megan, welcome to the judges room. Judges, this is Megan Lowe. Megan, these are all the judges. And if there's no questions from either the judges or Megan, we will commence the interview now.
All right. Hi, Marissa. Sorry. Hi, Megan. My name is Dare. I'm the head judge. And I see that you are in STEM. So do you feel like Asian women are well represented in STEM?
I feel like for the most part, women in general are not that well represented in STEM compared to men. I see that every day and in my workforce, and I also saw this when I was studying to be a mechanical engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's very important that we increase the amount of women in STEM just so we can improve upon the perspectives into the industry and also really diversify the workforce. I feel like this will really help innovate technology, which is especially important in today's booming era of technology.
And so, go ahead. Sure.
And so with this, I believe that we really need to encourage women to go into STEM.
So how do you think that you can encourage younger women or Asian women in general, if we were part of MAG, how would you be able to encourage them to go into STEM field?
So when I was younger, I actually wanted to be a doctor and help improve healthcare. And I guess that was mostly because I didn't really know what engineering was at the time. It wasn't until when I went to high school and my senior year when I really talked to my peers and I asked my female peers what they wanted to do when they went to college. And a good amount of them said, oh, I want to become an engineer. And in my mind, I thought engineering was just, a male dominated field and you just work on cars and bridges. And I didn't really know, for the most part, what most engineers did. So after I did some research, I really realized that engineering was so much more than that. It was all about building things to help the community, to help society. And from there, I really resonated with that. And from that really inspired me to go into engineering. So I feel like to help encourage others and younger females to go into engineering, we really need to show them that engineering is just more than just a male-dominated field. Females can go into it too, and it's a lot more fun, and you can really help society and build these great things for the future.
Thank you. All right, Kim, can you ask the next question, please?
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
So one of my life goals is to live without regrets, and as well as to just improve myself and the community and just keep on learning. So hopefully in the future, I hope that I can still be where I'm at my dream job as a research and development engineer in the medical device industry, improving medical devices to help improve healthcare. And I also want to gain a lot of experiences by then. So I also hope to travel, around the world to meet new people and really look at new cultures, as well as pick up new hobbies and just fine-tuning and gaining those new personal skills, so professional skills. And hopefully, I do hope by then I will inspire more women to go into engineering by being a role model and being someone that the younger females can look up to and encourage them to really go against the gender norm.
Judge Daisy?
What would you say is your biggest fear in life?
My biggest fear in life would probably be to be stagnant and to not be growing in general. If I was just living my day-to-day, doing the same things every single day and not growing myself, I feel like I'm not really living life to the fullest. So to do that, I really want to gain new skills and experiences and really try new things and challenge myself to be the best person I can be.
I have one more question for you. So what do you like to do outside of, your work and outside of the work?
I also love art in addition to science. And I grew up dancing for most of my life, from when I was 6 all the way until college and in college. So one of my biggest hobbies is dancing. I think it's really refreshing and really it enables me to express my feelings, not just through words or just writing, but also through my movements. And I really love the team dynamic of dancing and get really close to your teammates. And I really miss being on a dance team, and I really just love dancing and doing art.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna actually ask the last question too. So if you had to represent to yourself as an animal, what would it be and why?
If I were to represent myself as an animal, I would say that I'm an elephant. I feel like I'm very calm, as elephants are, but because they're big, I feel like I can make a big change in my community just by inspiring others and really showing that engineering can be for anyone. And with that, I believe I can be represented by an elephant.
Thank you so much.
Good job. Well done.
All
Welcome
right.
back, Marissa.
Oh, hey Natalie, just so you know, we're asking questions for each delegate and everybody's gonna participate as a judge. So we came in a little later. All right.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late today. Yeah, I wait until my turn.
No worries. Natalie's actually going to be your turn now, actually.
Yeah, I guess. Turns out you're not gonna be the judge. All right.
Yes, you are. We actually skipped over you, Megan, and now you're in. So perfect timing. All right, Melanie, take on the head judge position again, and I will do my basic introduction. So Natalie pops in, and I say, hello, everyone. This is Natalie Quinn. She is our delegate number 4. Natalie, these are all the judges. And if no one has any questions from either the judges or the delegates, we will commence the interview now.
Hi, Natalie. My name's Melanie. Can you tell me what your personal philosophy in life is?
Thank you very much for the question. My personal philosophy in life is that I always choose to do something that is challenging, and that's something scare me. Something like, so for example, when I actually grew up in Vietnam and come from a very normal family, and I had the dream of going to study abroad in the US. So that was something challenging, but I decided that, as a girl who only want to do challenge, I decided that I wouldn't learn English so hard to the point that I can get a good grade and also pass a lot of exam and apply for school in the US. Thanks to that, I can get a scholarship to study in the US. So to me, choosing something challenging and trying my best to achieve a goal is the philosophy that I follow throughout my life.
Thank you. Judge Olivia?
What political or social issue do you care about most?
I think that I care most about how we as a society treat and have to empower women. For example, I come from Vietnam, and compared to many developed country in Vietnam, there's still inequality, especially in terms of education for women. And this is something that I want to people to have more awareness about. And I believe that as for women, as a woman who studied abroad in the US and who get to know more about the society here and the lot of progress that we make in the US, I would love to use the knowledge and experience that I have here to bring back to Vietnam so that we can bring more equality to women in Vietnam.
Judge Lam?
What is one negative difference between Vietnam and the United States, in your opinion?
A negative difference. So I would like to clarify the question. So you want to see the difference, but like the negative side of the US or negative side of Vietnam?
The US compared to Vietnam.
I think that each country would have their own strength, and a lot of things that is also can learn from other people. For example, looking into what we are dealing with COVID right now, I see that in Vietnam, most of us follow the rule very well in terms of wearing masks and social distancing. In America, we have we respect people choice, and we also have more people can do. Sometimes people have opinion, and that is a very good thing. But at the same time, at a certain time, when society health is more important, I think it is important for each person to put that above the personal choice and personal preference. And in America, I see in certain states and in certain places, people don't really follow the rules. That might be something that is not very useful, and something that as a Vietnamese or someone who is live both in Vietnam and in America, I do think that that is something that we can some American individual can also learn from Vietnamese.
Judge Daisy?
So why did you decide to join MAG, and specifically, was there a reason for joining this year?
I am the person who chose to challenge myself, and to me, beauty has always been something that has been an insecurity for me. I come from Vietnam, and because in Vietnam we do have very different standard about beauty, and the way I look and my skin color is not always that thing that make me the people's favorite, and I have been bullied by other kids in school. So throughout my life and even until now, I still have that insecurity. And because I want to challenge myself, I also want to learn from other people. I decided to join MAC this year to learn to appreciate and treasure my own beauty, and also to appreciate the beauty of others and the beauty of diversity. Thank you.
Judge Nana?
Oh, yes. What's your, do you have a pet?
I actually don't have a pet, and I would love to have one, because during coronavirus time, most of us live alone, or like, at least for me, I don't live with my parents or family. So I would love to have a pet, but because I don't have that, what I do is that I try to connect with my friends more on social media and talk with my parents more as well.
And that's time. Good job. Well done. All right. I didn't have any direct feedback, but hope you guys were able to type in the feedback for Natalie. So the next person will be Olivia, number 6. Okay, so let's pop Olivia into the room. She pops in, and we'll push it back over to you. Where's Dare?
Over her.
Oh, there you are. Okay, there. Everyone's
By the way, is your timer an aquarium or something? There's like bubbles coming out of it.
Well, I dropped it in the water, and now it's like what? No, yeah. There's.
Oh.
It's
Oh my gosh! All right. Okay.
So back to you. You're the head judge now.
Mhm.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Olivia. So Olivia, like, hello, Olivia. Welcome to the judges' room. Judges is Olivia. She is our delegate number 6. Olivia, please meet other judges. If there are no questions from either side of the judges or the delegates, we shall begin the interview now.
Hi, Olivia. My name is Dare. I'm the head judge. So I see that you have a lot of, like experience in entrepreneurship. What do you think that are the top qualities as a leader, like as either a founder or director? What do you think are the top 3 qualities?
Adaptability, resilience, and open-mindedness. These are the 3 qualities that I use to help my company pull ourselves out of a very sticky situation. At the beginning of COVID, our company almost had to shut down because all of our contacts and our clients were face-to-face. So I had to be adaptable. The day after the travel ban was issued, I started a completely new offering and I pivoted my business. And over the course of a month, we were able to get 400 new customers. Now that's pretty unprecedented because a lot of other people right now are still suffering. They're losing clients, they're losing sales, their brick and mortar stores are closing. But I really think resilience is the next key. And lastly, open-mindedness. Because if you have attachment to your idea, you can't change. And being successful in innovation is all about being able to adapt and change and move with the current times. So I see that the most successful entrepreneurs right now have those 3 qualities.
Thank you so much. All right, Stella? Stella? Did
What's
she
your
leave?
favorite flower?
Wait, what?
What's your favorite flower?
Okay.
It goes between a rose and also the native flower of Hawaii, which is the hibiscus. I love both. My Chinese name is Wang Mei Feng. My brother used to make fun of me because you can say it in Cantonese to make it sound like a fart that smells good, but it's really the beautiful smelling flower. So when I think of a rose and I think of a hibiscus, I think of my middle name, which is Wang Mei Feng.
All right, Natalie?
What is the biggest challenge that you faced this year and how did you deal with it other than the one related to your business?
The biggest challenge was thinking about how I would have a conversation with my mom. She doesn't have healthcare, and she had to make this really tough decision to go back and be a frontline worker because if she didn't, she would lose her healthcare, and she's almost to the age of retirement. So we had somewhat of a family intervention. She really needed this insurance. I wasn't able to provide it, being a person who lives in Canada, and I also don't have a company that can sponsor her. But we made it work. We found a solution. She stayed home as long as she can, and then I was able to make additional money from the business that I ran and send her money back home so that she could pay for her insurance.
Thank you. Judge Megan?
Can you please tell us about a pivotal childhood moment and how that affected you?
Sure. When I was in high school, I wanted to go to the DRC in the Congo and work in places when there was genocide. And that's how I started my career as a humanitarian. But when I was in high school, I fit in, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't popular in the sense where I actually ate a lot alone in the lunchroom. So my senior year, I can't even remember spending time with other people. I just was invited to my 10-year high school reunion, and I was so afraid to go because I thought that no one would remember me because I ate alone so much. I haven't really told anyone that, but I think even through the process of being in MAG, I've been able to sort of excavate the most deep sort of personal stories for me. And in sharing those with you and sharing those out loud, I'm actually able to own that story. So it's not bad or negative that I ate alone. I actually spent that year in the Career Center, which allowed me to figure out what I really wanted to do in life.
All right. Judge Victoria, Can you ask a question for Olivia?
Wait.
Okay, actually, let's skip that. Sorry, Judge Tara, I'll come back to you.
Hi, Tara. Good to see you.
What did you do to prepare for this pageant?
I had the help of, okay, actually what I really did is I used my method, which is something I teach. It comes from Google X, and it helps you prototype anything. So I got so much feedback, and I iterated on my platform, on my interview questions, on my presentation, on my delivery, and I got so much help from all of the MAG staff, from my fellow sisters, and we practiced for over 2 hours almost every single day leading up to this moment. So I hope that my practice have paid off, but you will be the final judge of that.
All right. So what are you going to eat for dinner?
Ramen. Someone here earlier said they love noodles, and I was just thinking of my favorite noodle, and I love ramen because I love Japanese culture. So I will eat tonkatsu pork ramen right after this.
Ooh, that sounds really delicious. Thank you so much for your time, and I really enjoyed getting to know you.
Thank you, Dare.
Excellent. Well done. All right. Guys, type in your comments, and we're moving on. And Victoria, you came in just in time. It's your turn.
Wait, we should also tell her, Victoria, so we're going around, when you're not the one being asked questions, you're going to be the ones asking. So there's a head judge that's going to call out to the person who's going to ask the next question.
Right. And you're the delegate now, Victoria, and the head judge will be Melanie again. Are you ready, Melanie?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we'll go through the same process. Victoria, you get popped into the judges room. I'll be like, hello everyone, this is Victoria Lee. She is our delegate number 10. Victoria, these are all the judges for the interview session today. If there are no questions from either the judges or the delegates, we shall commence the interview now.
Hi, Victoria. My name is Melanie.
Hi, Melanie.
Hi. What is your favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory is going to travel to a lot of countries with my family. I have a little brother, so I also enjoy watching cartoons with my brothers, such as Little Einstein and such like cartoons like that. Yeah.
Judge Dare?
All right. So it seems like you have a lot of hobbies in terms of, dancing, you like art and music. So if right now, because everybody's in a kind of quarantine state, what's the next hobby you want to pick up and why?
The next hobby that I would like to pick up is flower arranging. I have a lot of flowers in my garden, and I think it'll be nice if I can like arrange some flowers in a bottle and just like put them in my house, and it'll be really like pleasant to watch.
Thank you.
Judge Kim?
If you can go back in time and change anything, would you?
I would not change anything about myself because I think some failures are really just useful for me to build a stronger mindset and really push me to make some changes in my opinion or like my mindset of viewing things. So I would say that I will not change anything in my life because I think those failures and obstacles are worth like taking challenges, and I really need that time to really overcome those challenges.
Victoria, what does beauty mean?
Excuse me?
What does the word beauty mean to you?
I believe that the word beauty means a lot to me. It means you're not only visually beautiful, you have to be beautiful inside. You have to really have a good mindset and you need to take care of others, and you need to really know how to act to things when you're not familiar with it. So I think that beauty is not only defining your visual appearance, but your inner self.
Thank you. Judge Marissa?
What would you say is one of the biggest challenges you had to overcome?
I would say that the biggest challenge that I have to overcome is self-confidence. Sometimes when I speak to people, I feel like a little bit scared or I don't act really like comfortable, but definitely I am here to join this pageant and I am willing to overcome that challenge to really communicate with more people and learn from others too.
Judge Tara?
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
If I could have one superpower, I wish that I can travel to the future. I want to see what is going to be my college. I want to see what company I am working in, and I want to see what is going to happen further in my life. So I would definitely choose to have the power to go to the future.
Judge Diane?
You see that you are the youngest pageant candidate. How will you handle the title of Miss Asian Global?
If I was fortunate enough to become Miss Asian Global, I would say that age is not the big issue because I have seen some delegates who are really young and still can handle the title of it. For example, our Miss Asian Global 2018, I believe, she is 17 years old when she got that title. And I think that really being the youngest can give us more opportunity to take on challenges, and we can definitely learn from our delegate sisters too.
Victoria, what is your favorite season?
My favorite season is summer. I love to go to swimming pool and the beach and enjoy eating ice cream and hang out with my friends. So I would say definitely summer.
Thank you.
Good job. Well done, Victoria. You kept an eye on the time and you ended it nice and gracefully. Didn't have to cut you off. Good job. Awesome. Okay. Unless any verbal feedback, but you guys are doing good. Let's move on to number 12. Who's left number 12? Lan, right? Okay, back to you, Dare, as head judge. So we go through, you guys know the drill now. Hello, everyone. This is Lan. Lan is our delegate number 12. Lan, these are all the judges. If there are no questions between the judges or the delegate, we will commence judging now.
Hi, Lan. So I'm the head judge, and I heard from the grapevine that you're a coffee fanatic. So can you tell me the difference between light, medium, and dark roast, and what is your favorite and why?
Wow, that's a lot of questions in one. And I think for the roasting part, I will say I'm a huge coffee fanatic, but I will no way, shape, or form say that I'm an expert in coffee. But I am working with a Vietnamese coffee roaster in Philadelphia, and we are actually working on our own proprietary blend for one of my startup companies. And I've learned the difference between the light, medium, and dark roast is how much air you expose the beans to during its development. Everyone has their own different taste. I'm more of like a medium kind of roast. I've had the privilege of kind of cupping and trying all of the different ones. But to answer your second question, my favorite coffee would definitely have to be the notable Vietnamese Café Sida. For those who don't know, it is a drip coffee that drips into condensed milk and it's served over ice. It's so strong that some people cannot handle it, but it's definitely memorable because it has such good flavor. So all of those things are something I'm totally crazy about and starting in my new startup.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Judge Olivia.
Lan, how would you balance your responsibilities with your companies if you were to win the title of Miss Asian Global?
Absolutely. I feel like if there's anything I've learned during this process and preparing for this very moment is how much work and time management it requires to do all of this stuff. So I feel like I've already gotten about a 2 to 3 month experience, and I feel like a pro now. I'm already starting to launch both of my companies in the next few months, and in the midst of all of that, I've been preparing for this pageant. And so I feel if given the opportunity to win the crown, I would still be able to manage and manage all of the responsibility, and I'm definitely up for it.
Judge Victoria?
Eyeline, what are your thoughts on the separation of church and state?
Oh, I'm not too familiar about the background and the circumstances behind separating church and state, but to answer your question, I do believe that the political realm of what the state, their viewpoints should be separated and different from the religious viewpoints and perspectives of the church. If that answers your question, I do think that we should keep them separate. I feel like when we blend certain perspectives together, it can get a little bit messy and there can be conflicts of interest. So I believe that they should stay separate.
Judge Megan?
What are some challenges you face while starting up your 2 startups?
I think the biggest challenge I face during this time, and I'm still facing it, is to take care of myself. I think anytime that you start anything new, it demands so much out of you. I mean, you're passionate about it, you're obviously excited about it. I know I am. So I feel like I put everything that I have into these 2 startups, and that's very much my personality. I want it to do well, I want it to be successful, and I love what I'm doing. But I think the most important thing is that I need to remember that my health comes first, and that my mental, emotional, physical health is as much of a priority as the success of my businesses. So I think that's been the biggest challenge, and to overcome that, I've put an alarm on my phone to make sure that I at least get 6 hours of sleep every night, which is not very common for me for the last few months. So
I think you're having too much coffee there. Anyway, so the last thing I want to ask about is, what is your platform, if you haven't really clearly stated it yet?
So my platform is minority representation, specifically in business, as a model for the next generation. I feel like right now in my life, I 110% embody my message. I am a minority in business, and I feel like using this platform and using the platforms of my 2 companies, I want to use all of these tools given to me to really be a true representation of not only MAG, but the minorities in general.
Thank you so much. Don't drink any more coffee for the day.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you guys are all like hitting it right at 1 or 0 seconds. Excellent. Keep that up. Using every second. I'm so proud of you guys. Awesome. All right. Next one is Tara. And we hit it over back to Melanie as head judge. And we begin the process. Hello, everyone. This is Tara. Tara, these are the judges. And if there's no questions from Tara or the judges, we commence the interview now.
Hi, Tara. I'm Melanie.
Hi.
President Alexander Lukashenko in Belarus won this Sunday's election in a landslide. Do you think the Belarus election was a fraud?
So I read a little bit about this, and the Belarus election has caused a lot of turmoil in both Belarus and globally. A lot of people are worried that it is fraudulent and it is not representative of what their government should entail. So while I'm not the CIA, I don't know the nitty-gritty details. I have to go with what the people are saying in Belarus, what the women and the men are fighting for. And I do believe that if they believe there should be a re-election or a recount of some sort, that the government should listen to what the people want.
Thank you, Tara. Judge Natalie?
If you win the title today, what would you do differently than before you hold the title?
So if I was to have the honor of the title, one thing I definitely would do differently is be even more critical of what I post, of what I say. Obviously, I'm still critical of what I say in general because I'm aware that everything you say can impact not only your friends or who follows you, but the community as a large, especially if you maybe offend someone you have no idea. So I want to be way more critical, revise everything that I'm saying 2 to 3 times, because as the title, you're a public figure. not only to the MAG network, but to little girls everywhere who aspire to be Miss Asian Global eventually. So I definitely would revise everything that I say and make sure that I'm coming from my heart, and my heart is just being kind. And so just making sure I'm not offending anyone.
Judge Diamond.
Speaking of being an inspiration to little girls, what sort of advice would you give to young women today?
If I had the opportunity to just give one piece of advice, although there are many pieces of advice I would want to give to young little girls everywhere, I would say to them to just keep going. It'll all work out. So when I was younger, I had a lot of imposter syndrome, both in my ethnicity and just as I was pursuing a career in medicine. And throughout my struggles, I always thought, oh, well, what if I don't get in? What if I don't do this, etc. And these negativities really clouded my thoughts and my confidence. So if I was able to speak to little girls, I'd say just keep going. You'll be able to take up that space. You can do it no matter the barriers. It'll all work out. Maybe not exactly as planned, as this year was definitely not how anyone planned, but it'll all work out in the end.
Judge Kim.
In 3 words, how would you describe yourself? Like if a friend was here, how would they describe you?
They would say I'm caring, I'm tenacious, and I'm bubbly. So caring is definitely obvious, as my dream job is to become a doctor, and the whole point of being a doctor is to care for people, not only physically, but their mental and their soul and their well-being. I am tenacious because I've overcome many things to get here. I grew up really fast as my mother fell sick with an illness, and I had to help her through it. It was just me and her alone, and I worked through it. I worked hard to get to UC Berkeley, and I graduated this spring semester, and that was so difficult. But I was tenacious through and through. And finally, I'm bubbly, and I don't know if you could tell, maybe it's the nerves, but I am typically a pretty bubbly person, and I try to make sure everyone is enjoying both my presence and their time.
Tara, how will you be different from all the other queens who have won in the past?
So besides being me, and everyone is unique in their own way, I do believe I might be the first Hapa queen. I don't think I've seen any other half Asians as Miss Asian Global, and that's something that I would love to stand for. I don't see half Asians nearly enough in the media or taking up spaces in pageant communities, and I would love to be my own hero and be the first Hapa queen, as I was 2 years ago as Miss Singdao 2018. I was the first Chinese Hapa queen in that pageant, and it was really great. It really broke the barriers I had within my heart as not being Asian enough, not being Chinese enough. And so to be able to be the first Hapa half Asian queen as Miss Asian Global would be such an honor.
Tara, what is your favorite day of the week?
My favorite day of the week is Friday, and maybe Rebecca Black sung it the best, but Friday is just always such a joyful day. I'm always so excited to see what new things I can pick up that weekend. Yeah.
You guys are doing great. Great, nailing the time here. Awesome. Very impressed. Okay, good job, Tara. All right, that brings us to number 14. Nana, you ready? Awesome. All right, hitting it back to you, Dare. So Nana pops in.
All right.
Hello, everyone. This is Nana. Nana, these are all the judges. If there are no questions from the judges or from our delegate, we shall begin the interview now.
Hi, Nana. My name is Dare. I'm the head judge. And so I see that you're a real estate broker. And what do you think is the hardest part about your job being a real estate?
The hardest part, I think it's the hardest part and also the funnest part is each client that I meet is very unique and special. So each person has different background and different needs with the real estate. So that's the challenging part, and that's also the fun part because I get to learn how to figure out how to deal with different circumstances and how to talk to different people in their language.
Mm-hmm. Judge Lan?
What makes you different?
What makes me different? I think everyone is different. everyone in this world is unique and different. We all have different background. We coming from different family, different experiences. So for me, I think for me being different is that I grew up by myself. So when I was age 15, I lost my father, so I didn't have any relative here in United States. So I had to support myself. I had to support myself through living and school and education. I think I think a lot of people probably won't understand how difficult it was back then.
All right, Judge Natalie?
Me?
Yeah, you have to ask her a question.
If you can make a wish, what would you wish to do?
I wish we can end racism, because we are all human. We are the same race. Like humans are evolved from monkeys a long time ago. So our appearances and our physical structure are different because we had to evolve in order to survive in the external condition. So but we can communicate in complex language, and we can think of creative ideas. So I don't think there shouldn't be a word racism at all.
All right. Judge, hold on. Judge Kim.
Out of all of her pageant sisters, who do you think deserves to win?
Oh, okay. I think everyone is so special and unique. Each person, each one of us have our own, strengths and of course weaknesses. And I think, in my opinion, I think I really like Tara because I think she's very young, and I like her personality, and she's sweet. I just think that this will be a very good opportunity for her, because she's still young, so there's a lot of future for all of us in the future. Yeah.
Judge Diamond?
What would winning Miss Asian Global mean to you?
Oh, well, I think winning the crown means you have a lot of responsibilities, and you will be representing MAC and also the Asian American community. So that means you have to really be able to honor your time and also your energy, and know the duty of a queen. Yeah.
So I see that you have a different interest going forward in psychology. So what got you this wanting to do a change from real estate into psychology?
I want to get into psychology. It's just based on my own personal interests. I would never give up real estate, but yeah, I like psychology because back then I was a victim of bullying in school. And that really affected me for a very long time. I was shy and I was afraid because I had no one to reach out to. And I didn't have anyone that could give me advice that can really save me the time to avoid me going through all of these struggles in life. So I think psychology is a very powerful thing, because if you know about it, you can help many people.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to conclude the interview right there. So make sure you keep an eye on the time, okay? Otherwise, you will be cut off mid-sentence.
Yeah, you should, from here, you should just cut them off mid-sentence just so people know how to manage the time, maybe?
Exactly. Make sure you guys keep an eye on all the times. But otherwise, good job, man. All right, moving on. Diamond, number 15. Ready, Diamond?
Hey, yo, ready.
Yeah. All right, Diamond pops in, and we're throwing it back over. Wait, were you head just Dari?
Huh? What? I was head just now.
Okay. All right, so back to you, Melanie. All right, so here's Diamond. Diamond, these are all the judges for your interview today. Judges, this is Diamond. If there are no questions from Diamond or the judges, we will commence the interview now.
Diamond. I'm Melanie. I saw on your resume that you had worked at some really great vineyards for some time. What was your favorite thing about that, and why did you decide to do it?
So my master's is in international studies, focusing on international business, and my thesis work was on the consumption behaviors of Chinese young adults on the wine trade. So after I graduated from my master's, I moved back to California and I got a few jobs at some wineries because I wanted some wine experience. And I loved working at Calcareous Vineyards. They were a prestigious winery and they had this wonderful motto of being casual elegant. So I really learned how to present myself in this professional manner without being over the top. And it was really insightful learning how to communicate with different clients one-on-one when they would come in and they'd be led to your booth and you'd have to explain about the wine, and you'd have to really balance between selling your product and also creating a personal relationship with the client. So I found it really, really insightful. You're muted.
Thank you, Diamond. Judge Kim.
So, as Miss Asian Global, how do you feel that you can balance this title as, or let me rephrase this, how do you feel about getting Miss Asian Global's title and you are currently in Australia at the moment?
Actually, I think that works really well for me as a representative for Miss Asian Global. I am a US citizen who lives in Australia, who used to live in China, and I really understand the importance of global representation. It's one of the reasons why I chose to participate in this pageant, because of the global representation. And I think if I got the title of Miss Asian Global, I would very gracefully spread the message, not just to my fellow Asian Americans and American citizens, but also to the people in Australia where I'm representing, the people that I've met living abroad and everything of the sorts.
Judge Dare.
So let's say that I don't know anything about wine. What wine would you recommend me?
Absolutely a Syrah. I think Syrah has such a wide variety of flavors. You can have something spicy and warm, which really presents itself in the middle of your mouth, or you could have something really soft and sweet. It depends on where it's grown and the conditions. I would love to personally recommend the Devil's Canyon Syrah from Calcareous Vineyard, which I worked at. It scored 93 points in a lot of competitions. It's very beautiful. It pairs nicely with food, and it also does well for an easy drinking at home with a face mask on.
Awesome, thank you.
Diamond, the black rhino population has become an endangered species this year. What will you do to save the rhinos?
So I love that you asked me this. My master's was dealing with wine, but my bachelor's is actually in field and wildlife sciences. So I have a lot of connections in that area, and one of my best friends is working on her PhD in Texas. And I think if I win Miss Asian Global, one, I'll have this platform and megaphone to showcase this issue. And if not, I will still continue to participate where I can. I will share organizations that deserve funding and support from it. And I will also bring awareness to anyone on my platforms and social media.
Thank you, Diamond. Judge Lan?
What are 3 qualities that you look for in a partner?
Someone
if you
who's
were to start a business.
Oh, if I was starting a business?
Yeah, like if you were to choose a business partner, what are 3 qualities you would look for?
Someone who's honest. I absolutely hate anyone that tries to hide the truth or tries to white lie around issues. I think being honest is number 1. Number 2, I think someone who's not afraid to speak their mind, whether they have an opinion on something big or an opinion on something small. I think being able to speak your mind with me and being able to handle me speaking my mind is really important in a business relationship. And lastly, I would love to have someone that's creative. I think oftentimes a lot of people fall into a rut of just doing the same thing or just doing what they see works. And I think it's really important to have new and innovative ideas presented.
Thank you, Diamond. I don't have enough time to ask you anything else, so.
So good job. Yeah, Diamond, if you wanted to, you could have extended that if you wanted to another 10 seconds and just, say what you want to, but yeah, either way is fine. Otherwise, I'm just gonna wait till the last 10 seconds and then we just have that silence.
Queen Melanie is notoriously known for asking the most random things about extinct animals, as she did as my roommate before.
No, that was
You were.
Kathy asked that question. She would
Well,
ask.
you still asked it to me. Sorry, guys, side topic. But she does. So just be aware. She could throw that out there.
My noodle question and the extinction question.
Yeah, you did a really good job, Diamond, on that one.
Yeah, that was a great segue into talking about your background, but then also letting us know about your friends. But anyway, I'll type your
This is gonna be you guys next year bickering over each other about the practice questions in your little dorm rooms. Okay, great. Number 16, Stella, you're up. And I'm gonna hit it back over to you, Dare, as head judge.
Yes,
So,
sir. Give me a second.
get
Give
ready.
me a
All right.
second.
Stella,
All right.
welcome to the judges room. These are the judges here. Judges, this is Stella. If there are no questions from Stella or from the judges, we'll commence our interview starting now.
Hi, Stella. My name is Dare, and I'm the head judge. So I see that you really like to bake. So what is your favorite baked goods and why?
Well, my favorite baked goods is macarons. As a child, I traveled a lot with my family, and one place we did go to was France, since my cousin lives in Manchester, England, so we always used to take him around. And so macarons are one of my favorite baked desserts.
Thank you. Judge Daisy?
Curious to know, is there any specific reason you decided to join the MAG pageant this year?
I actually joined MAG to raise awareness, and one way I do this is through my bakery, Belle Egg Bakery, which is aimed to destigmatize mental illness. My bakery has cakes that are based on all kinds of psychological concepts, and so I joined MAG to raise awareness to mental illness, but also to show other young Asian women that they can do anything that they want to.
All right. Judge Natalie.
Who is your role model and why?
I'd say my role model is my mom. Even growing up, she used to do so much. She used to help us with our classes, cook for us. She used to clean, even when we were being really annoying and wouldn't clean because it has to be done. She also, just like me, has dealt with anxiety and depression, and she's really been my rock through it all. And so that's why my mom's my role model.
Judge Victoria.
What would you say is your greatest accomplishment?
I would say that my greatest accomplishment actually goes back to my bakery, but let me give you a little background on that. Growing up, I learned that mental illness wasn't really talked about in my culture, and that really saddened me because it was really hard to deal with my anxiety, depression, and ADHD throughout it all. My mom, like I said, did help me, but one way that I did find that helped me more was baking. With baking, I could do anything. The sky was the limit with the decorating, although the chemistry part was a little hard. With baking, I infused it with my passion for psychology and came up with Belle Egg Bakery, like I just brought up. And Belle Egg Bakery also provides resources to those in need, on top of destigmatizing mental illness with the psychological concept-based cakes.
Judge Olivia.
How would you handle the spotlight if you were to win one of the titles?
I see the spotlight less of a burden and more of an opportunity. I would continue to spread my image, but I would love the fact that I have the whole MAG community to spread my message too. And my message is actually on teen depression and suicide, but the wider spread is with my bakery and destigmatizing mental illness.
Judge Kim?
You were talking about how you grew up with some mental illnesses, such as depression and anxiety. What are some techniques or some practices you do and you would like to share to others that are going through?
I'm so glad you asked the question because to me, self-care mentally is so important. One way that I deal with my anxiety is actually journaling. Journaling helps me vent out so much, but on top of that, songwriting in my journal helps me so much more just because I can musically express myself. And music therapy is a really strong way to help yourself feel better. On top of that, I do a lot of things to help me relax, like face masks and just taking a hot shower. Self-love is very important, and it's very good to not spread yourself too thin, still taking care of yourself with maybe even meditation. Meditation is really good because it allows your body to have more blood circulation while you're breathing, and it also centers your mind. So those are some self-care tips I would like to share.
Judge Nana?
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is black because it embodies all the other colors, and I feel like I really have a lot of aspects to myself, and so black really represents me.
All right, Judge Tara?
What is your favorite thing to do during the pandemic?
I honestly think working out. I actually work out indoors in my room because I do realize that breathing so heavily and so hard outside might be a little dangerous right now. It really helps me relieve my stress. I usually do some cardio and some weightlifting, so working out is definitely my favorite thing to do during the pandemic.
All right, so tell me what's your favorite piece of clothing?
My favorite piece of clothing is actually a long baggy jacket because it's very nice to just cuddle up with, watch some Netflix, and just cool down after a long day.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well done, Stella. Good job. All right, moving on. That leaves Daisy, number 19. You ready, Daisy?
Yes.
All right. I'm thinking it back to you now, right, Dara?
No, I just did it. Yo.
Melanie.
Yo.
All right, Melanie, you ready for head judge?
Hold on.
Yes.
Yeah, she also needs 20 seconds too.
5 seconds.
What? 5?
5 seconds, all right. That's enough time for me to introduce. Hello, judges. This is Daisy. Daisy, these are your judges for your interview. If there are no questions from the judges or from the delegate, we will commence the interview now.
Hi, Daisy. I see that you are in sales. What is your favorite thing about your occupation?
My favorite thing about being in sales is literally being in sales. What I love most about sales, it's a lot of personal growth. You learn to talk to people with a lot of leadership clout. You learn how to say no when you need to. I think the biggest thing I've learned so far is failure. In sales, you get the answer no a lot more than you hear yes. And because of that, and I hear that every single day in my job, it's really taught me perseverance and how to take failure with stride. So I know life throws a lot of things at you. This year alone, we saw COVID-19, rampant racism, amongst other things. And when these things are thrown at you, knowing how to react and adapt is really important. So I'd say failure and learning how to deal with failure is one of my favorite things about sales.
Great. Judge Olivia?
What's your favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory would probably have to be the sleepovers I had with a bunch of girls when I was a kid. It's really fun. You get together with all your friends and you watch movies and eat popcorn and probably talk about who's the cutest boys in class. And it's fun because as you get older, you don't get this big social presence as much anymore. And I think because I grew up with a lot of that as a kid, I became a very social person. I love people. I love listening to people. I love meeting new people. I love learning other people's stories. I think it really came from my childhood.
Daisy, what is your least favorite sport?
My least favorite sport is probably going to be football. I say this as in if I were to play football. The reason being is because it's a lot of aggressive moves, and I think that I don't like to be hurt. So I'd say football would be my least favorite sport if I were to have to play in it.
Thank you. Judge Natalie?
Daisy, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself still living in Los Angeles where I do today, Personally, I see myself, I guess, potentially married with kids. Professionally, I see myself running my own business. Specifically, my platform is to inspire more women to sales and leadership roles. I do want to create a tech platform that will recruit university women on purpose. A lot of times in sales, you don't really know about it. And I feel like by targeting younger women straight out of college and teaching them what sales can do for them, whether or not they want it as a career, but as a stepping stones and the skills you get is one of my passions. So in 5 years, I see myself married with kids and running my own business.
Judge Dare?
So what is your favorite thing about your traveling?
My favorite thing about traveling is all the exciting stories that comes with it. I believe traveling makes you a really well-rounded person. Personally, right after high school, after college, I actually took 6 months to travel the world. I went to 25 different countries, 5 different continents, and through this experience was a lot of ups and downs. There was a night where I was homeless. There was a night where I slept next to turkeys. There's a night where I was alone. I did solo traveling for the first time. And through all these experiences that I learned how to adapt. I learned how to really find myself and figure out what I want. And so I think because I'm able to share these stories with others and others can learn and grow as well, that's one of my favorite parts of traveling.
Thank you.
Daisy, should parents allow their minor children to get plastic surgery?
I believe parents should allow them if they feel like it's the right thing for their child. Every parent will have a different mindset how they think about it, and every parent knows their child the most. I think freedom and being able to decide that on a parental level is really important, because at the end of the day, how you know your kid well and how you decide for them as they're a minor will give them the skills and ability to decide for themselves in the future when they're no longer a minor.
Daisy, what is your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday is going to have to be Christmas. It's a time when family all comes together. So my mom actually lives in Hong Kong. I only see her once a year. To be able to come together during Christmas is one of my favorite times because I get to see my mom.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well done. Good job, Daisy. Awesome. Well, we are approaching 8 o'clock, so we still have about 35 minutes to do what you guys want. Do you guys want another quick round, or do you guys want to work on anything else, or do you just want to shoot a bunch of questions to the queens right now? What would you guys like to do?
Do you think we have enough time for another round, or we can maybe have more conversation with the queens and ask them advice in general?
If we do a round, it's going to be 3 minutes each. Probably. Did you guys want a round at 3 minutes each?
How is that going to work? I mean, it's already been an hour and a half with 5 minutes for everybody. I don't think
like
that's
boom, 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 boom. But you're right. Probably won't be enough. How many people do we have here? It'll be just really enough time to close off everything. But
I mean, if we want to do one more round, if that's what everybody wants, I would say everybody should just work on tell me about yourself and limit it to under 1 minute. And that would probably be able to get through it.
Good, yeah, if you guys wanted to. Or do you just want to ask questions to the queens right now? Which I think they are a wealth of information in what they did to prepare.
I like the idea of feedback and practicing a 60-second tell me about yourself introduction. That's just me, so don't take mine.
Does anyone have any suggestions, or does everyone like that idea?
While I'm not prepared for it, I think that it's a really good activity to do.
Okay, then Dare, why don't you go ahead and just start calling on whoever, I got a number there, so I'll call them out, and then you're as head judges, you and Marissa, you and Melanie can give feedback on it, okay? So
Okay.
the first one would be,
Wait, I did not understand that. So it's
I'm
me
sorry,
and Melanie, the judge?
Yeah, you and Melanie can give, and anyone else too, but you and
Okay.
Melanie can like basically give feedback on the tell me about yourself answer.
Sure.
Okay? All right, so the first one, number 1 is Marissa. Ready? And tell us about yourself.
Wait. Sorry. Hey, Francis, can you do another screen with a stopwatch instead of a timer so that they can see how long they're going for?
Got it.
Or you can set a timer for under 1 minute, whichever works better, but.
I'll just stopwatch, that way they can just see how long they would be probably talking about.
Sure, okay.
Marissa's not here.
Who?
Oh, she
Oh, she dropped off. That's right, huh? She
Oh,
lost
yeah.
her Wi-Fi again. Damn. All right, damn. Then Marissa, we jump over to number 3 then. Kim. You ready, Kim?
For clarification, it's just my version of tell me about yourself, nothing else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is not your platform, unless your platform is your tell me about yourself. But this is like, if they ask you, so tell us a bit about yourself. Well, that happens to be like one of the questions they ask. Okay?
Yeah, it could be like any range of like, you know, your intro or your platform or whatever. Like, what is it that you want to tell your judges? Like, if most likely fallback question is going to be tell me about yourself if they can't come up with enough time to come up with questions from your resume. So it's always a good idea to have it handy. So Diamond should have been the first one to go, but but all right. You have some time to prep.
Okay. Ready?
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm like looking for the stopwatch. Okay. I don't know where to begin. Hi, my name is Kim. So a little bit about myself. I am extremely passionate about mental health for several reasons. But before I get there, I want to take you back to my second year of college. I think during this time, I was diagnosed with clinical depression, and it really stemmed from my past relationship with my ex. It was an extremely abusive relationship, and I just didn't know how to heal, and I didn't know how to love myself at that time. And from here, I tried to reach out to my community members and my family members, but overall, it was just so hard to talk about mental health, which is why I'm so passionate about sharing mental health awareness with my community today. I've always felt that there's been a struggle and there's miscommunication within the Asian American community, which is why I always wanted to share the knowledge and the love for mental health.
Okay. Good.
Oh, God, that was hard.
Yeah. All right. So I think that you spent, just so you guys know, I'm just going to be more straightforward. All right. I'm just trying to be as helpful as I can. Okay. So you hit about 39 seconds when you were kind of done explaining about your previous circumstance. And, but it was kind of redundant information. So you could have cut that down to maybe like a third of that and then focus a little bit more about like the mental, you know, mental like illness and like that kind of aspect where you want to talk about really the juicy stuff like you want to share, because I didn't get too much out of it. Do you understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, Francis, next person.
Okay, was there any other feedback?
Oh, sorry. My bad.
No? No? All right, cool. All right, then we'll go on to the next person. That would be Natalie. Natalie, you ready?
Yes.
All right, and tell us a bit about yourself.
Can I see the time? Okay. Hello, my name is Natalie Nguyen, and I come from Vietnam. I'm a kind of person who personally chose to do something that feels very challenging that I might not be able to do in most situations. So for example, back in high school when I was in Vietnam, I chose to learn German because it was simply just a very difficult language to learn. And after high school, knowing German, I realized that, hey, I actually wanted to study in the US and my English was not very good. So I realized that this is the next challenge I want to tackle. And I actually studied English myself very hard, applied for college in the US, and then got a scholarship to go to the US. With the scholarship, I could focus on studying a lot, but at the same time, things seemed to get easier because I didn't have to worry about financial burdens and I can focus on a lot of school activities and a lot of studying. So college seemed to be a very pleasant experience for me. At the same time, I realized that I need to challenge myself more and decided that I would switch to become to go in tech and to study computer science. Did I run out of time?
No. Okay, so technically speaking, it's a 10-minute interview this year, right? So you could, I wouldn't recommend it, take all the time you want to introduce yourself, but I would say between 1 minute's good, 2 minutes probably max, 3 minutes you're stretching it, right? So that's at least my feedback. What is Melanie and Larry think for a 10-minute interview?
I've given this advice to some others, but I guess it just depends on like how quickly you talk, and then also like how many different examples that you plan to touch on. So if there's like multiple things about your life, you know, just like pick 2 or 3 specific things that you can embellish upon. That will be the theme setting the rest of your interview. You do speak a little bit fast as well, so just make sure that you slow down just a tiny little bit so we can understand exactly everything you're saying.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah, I would stick with under a minute just because, you know, they've been through a lot of, you know, you were going to be earlier on, but at the same time, the judges will be sitting there for a long time listening to people. So if you talk for too long in a chunk of a time about the same topic, then you might lose them as well. And so it's obviously preference of like what you want to share. If you think this is my moment to share, tell them whatever I want, go for it. But if you want to share that and then have them keep asking you questions, then you kind of have to kind of be a little bit more condensed and give them a little bit of piece of like, hey, this is what I'm talking about. If you want to know more, you kind of have to ask me type.
Yep. Thank you.
And then also, so from what I got out of this 1 minute, 8 seconds is that you mostly talked about you talked about the challenges that you face. Is that all you want them to know from your introduction, or do you want to introduce your platform? Because you never made it there, right? So you're going to have to decide like what you want to talk about there.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of trying to cut down on time from that, I would say I like to take on challenges. For example, German was the hardest language, so I decided to take that on. And then I also decided to, in order to study in the US, I applied for a Fulbright scholarship, which I got. And that already in itself was just 2 sentences instead of you saying like 4 or 5 sentences to say the exact same thing.
I see.
Mm-hmm. All right.
This is very helpful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Any more feedback from anyone else? No? All right, great. Megan, you're next. Zero on my clock here. All right, Megan, please tell us a bit about yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Megan Blow and I'm a Bay Area native from El Cerrito, California. Ever since I was young, I've always been interested in art and science. And I also love making things with my hands, and I was fascinated by how things work, both biologically and mechanically. And this set my interest in design, medicine, and engineering. And when I went off to college, I was so torn between choosing a career path. After talking with family, friends, and mentors, I eventually decided to study mechanical engineering and minor in biomedical engineering to help improve healthcare in the future by going into the medical device field. And after I graduated, I landed my first full-time job as a mechanical engineer at a medical device startup, where I actually get to work on designing a first-generation non-commercialized product that helps treat blood regurgitation. And outside of my job, I really like to improve myself and gain new skills. So recently, I've been trying to learn pottery, make jewelry, and as well as just bake more because I love eating baked goods. My desire to learn new things also influenced me into joining the Miss Asian Global pageant. So I did a pageant about 4 to 5 years ago, and I had an amazing time meeting all my pageant sisters and helping out with community events. And since then, I've always thought about doing another pageant. And I've always kept Miss Asian Global in the back of my mind because I believe it does an amazing job of representing inner and outer beauty. I also see the amazing women that are involved in Miss Asian Global, and they have really inspired me to want to make a change in my community. So my goal is to now inspire other young women to go into engineering. I noticed the clear lack of female representation in the field, both when I was studying to be a mechanical engineer at college and in the workforce today. And I think it's extremely important that we diminish the gender gap, not only to introduce new perspectives, but also to diversify the workforce. And I think it's especially important that this will drive innovation, especially in a booming era of technology today. So just like how I'm inspired by the amazing women in Miss Asian Global, I would help inspire others.
Thank you, Megan. There's your time. And feedback from Melanie and Dare first.
Bit long. I think you can condense it just a little bit and really just hit those key points. So that's what I would recommend practicing. Just like if it helps too, like I'm a visual learner, so like write out the bullet points of like what you'd want to cover in that answer, and then just stick to those and try not to embellish like too much. If you want to give examples, like list that as a bullet point so that you don't go over and just talk about like more things. Also just be like thoughtful of not repeating yourself too much. The other thing too is I think it's amazing that you are shouting at your pageant sisters and like talking about how great they are and you're inspired by everybody, but also just make sure you focus on your accomplishments too. We know that everyone respects everyone else, and it's definitely good to acknowledge that, but just make sure that you're able to talk about your own accomplishments as well.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit long because what the paper they're gonna have is just one sheet of paper with all your names on it with a number, and you just have a score sheet. It's a little score for each of your name, and they're not gonna have time to be writing down the way I was, like in terms of when you guys are speaking or anybody else who's been writing. You know, it's not, you can't like remember all the things you've said, so you need to just pick the top 2-3 things that you really want to talk about. And or if you want to just talk about your platform, because it was already getting way too long by the time you got to the platform. And in terms of like, for example, you talked about you're picking up a new hobby. You don't have to list the hobbies. You can say, oh, during COVID, I decided to take on a new hobbies, which if they're curious enough, then they'll follow up on that, which that's how you direct the follow-up questions. And it just kind of like dragged on from one topic to next. So like just for everybody actually right now, okay, listen to what I'm about to say and see how much of it you can remember. Okay, ready? Jello shots, spray paint, banner, tables, dragon, setting, rice, crispy treats, tablecloth, aisle runner. Do you guys can remember everything I just said?
I remember Jello shots.
I know, but you
Dragon.
literally can you remember all the words that I just said?
Tablecloth, dragon.
Well, I'm not, Francis, you're not part of this activity right now. I'm trying to give them a point. So the point is you can't remember if I'm listening it to you because, you know, there's so much stuff. But I'm going to say at my wedding, I'm going to have chairs and tables, a blow-up dragon, and I'm going to also have Jello shots on the dessert table, also with Rice Krispie treats. And then I'm going to have aisle runner. You're going to remember, you remembered a lot better what I just said, right? Of the exact same words that I just used like a minute ago. So the key is to make sure you're telling a story and it flows in a way that they'll remember, but you don't want to be listing so many things, so much information, because they're not going to try to memorize it. If they miss it, they're just going to forget it. So it goes against you if you list too much.
I just want to say Dari literally had all of those things at her wedding because I had to help set it up.
Okay.
That's crazy.
It happened to be the same notebook. Yeah. Anyways, so just as a point for all of you guys, so I want you to remember to keep it short. You want to pick a couple things that you really want to talk about and make it into more of a storytelling. Don't be like this and then this and then this and then it's out the window, whatever. So, all right, Olivia. Oh, if no one else has comments, sorry, I keep skipping.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, everyone. Yeah, no one else has any comments. Oh, Lan, did you have a comment?
Oh no.
Okay. All right, Lan. Wait, let me zero this up.
Can I yield my time to Lan? I think she has an important deadline to make tonight.
Oh,
her first.
Do you need to go, Lan?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I should go. I have a grant deadline that I should be working
on. You want to go right now? I mean, do you want to do your tell us about yourself right now?
Yeah, I can do it really quick.
Okay. Lan, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity to tell you a little bit about myself. I first and foremost want to say I was born and raised in the Bay Area, so I'm definitely a California girl, but raised in the resilient city of the Midwest in Chicago right now. I would say I was raised by very traditional Asian parents who really influenced me, and for 20 years of my life, really, where I spent 10 years of my life in higher education, where I really conformed to a society and to a system that really suppressed my personal growth. So where I'm at in my life right now, which I'm super excited about, it's about taking a risk and taking a bet on myself. And so right now I am starting 2 really exciting startups, 2 very different things. And I really look forward for the opportunity to talk about that a little bit more later on. But I just am so excited to be here, and I'm so excited to take on the role if given that opportunity as the next queen.
1 minute, 2 seconds. All right, feedback.
Excellent nugget dropping. telling me that you're literally going to tell me about your startups later, I think is great, because it's like, oh, well, now I'm curious. I'm like, I want to hear more about it since you didn't put it out there. So great job on that.
Yeah, so that is directing, you're taking lead of that conversation. Exactly what Melanie said. So everybody has different opinions, and in terms of like interview, like I personally don't want to start off saying thank you just because I just looked at the clock. By the time you're done saying thank you, you already took off 7 seconds. And you can always say thank you after you're done with your 10 minutes. They're not going to cut you off. It's just like, thank you for your time, So it's up to you. It's obviously preference. 7 seconds is like really not that much, but it's just preference, just a note. And I think you did a really good, you had a good job of like, talking about like social norm of like, yielding, like molding into like Asian culture, and then decided to break out of that. So that's good.
Awesome.
I don't know what the end time was. What was it?
1 minute, 2 seconds.
1 minute, 2 seconds. All right.
Oh. All right. And then,
good luck on your
yeah, go ahead and go and let me know if you need anything else. All right.
Okay.
I do give you permission for coffee today. I'm just kidding.
All right, bye guys, and good luck on Saturday. See
Yep.
y'all.
See you on Saturday, Lamb. Okay, then let's bounce over back to Olivia. Are you ready, Olivia? All right. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm a humanitarian and entrepreneur. My name is Olivia. I was born in San Francisco, and when I was 16, I won a scholarship to go to Brazil. This planted a seed in me, and later I went and traveled to 30 countries on my own. At my time at UCSB, I studied international relations. My goal was to work for the United Nations, and I actually did. My 3rd year of college, I worked in Syria alongside the UNHCR. I also worked in Fukushima, Japan after the nuclear disaster. Started a nonprofit at 22 and was recognized by the Clinton Foundation. Now I'm in Vancouver. I have 2 companies. One is an innovation consultancy and the other works on women in finance. And my platform is homelessness because my brother was homeless before he was successful as an entrepreneur. And one of my closest friends, Tito, is still a homeless veteran living on the streets of New York City. Many people here have heard my introduction. They always like to ask me about Syria, so if you get a chance, I would be happy to answer any and all questions about my time in Syria.
Thank you. 1 minute and 4 seconds to say that. All right. Feedback from the judges.
Melanie, are you gone?
Wait, what happened, Melanie?
Oh no, I'm asking. Is Melanie gone?
No.
Gone.
Oh. What just happened? I was like, what? Hold on, I need some water. You want to go first?
All right. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good that you were able to give like a full introduction about yourself. I struggled finding negative feedback. I think in terms of timing, that was good because you were able to share enough in that time. I don't know, Dari, do you have anything specific?
So I really like, so you kind of did a similar approach at the end where you kind of like, so when I talk to people, like they'll ask me about Syria. I mean, if they're curious, they can ask about it, but you don't have to necessarily like just direct it unless that's what you want them to ask about you. Is that what you want?
No, honestly, I finished early and I was like, well, I still have.
No, you don't have to try to do it in a time limit. We're not trying to keep it in a time. Honestly, like, the more condensed you can, then you have more chances of the judges being able to ask you questions about you. You can change the room and it feels more like an actual conversation. You're interacting with the judges. Whereas like if you're standing there longer and longer doing your introduction, it feels like a monologue for a period of time, right? And I mean, obviously majority of the time you will be the one speaking, but you don't have to try to meet like a certain time thing. So, but anyways, yeah. And then in terms of like what I got, so you talked about you traveling to many countries and then you work for UN and you made things happen and you got entrepreneurship. So is it that you want them to know that your achievement in the sense of like, getting to be where you want to be in the UN and, also for your entrepreneurship? And what about the traveling? Like, what is it that you want me to know as a judge about you traveling 30 countries?
Is that a hypothetical question?
No, I'm actually asking you. I'm asking you.
Oh, so I usually tell this in 3.5 minutes, and it's a much longer story. And so I cherry picked the key points from that story.
Sure.
So I think without this longer story, there's not a lot of context, and it feels like sort of random pieces of information. So I don't know the answer to that question because it's the first time I've done it in like 60 seconds.
So think about it tonight in terms of like what value it brings. I'm not saying it doesn't bring a value. That's not what I'm saying, because I think it really shows a lot about you. But at the same time, like, what do you want them to know? And think about the value, and is it worth putting it in there, or is it better to have a little bit shorter and just have them start asking about like other things? So just food for thought. All right. If Victoria or who?
Yeah, it's going to be Victoria. Are you ready, Victoria?
Oh, I see.
Where's
Oh, just FYI, Melanie said Burb. Her not boyfriend, her brother is birthday, so she probably popped out for that.
Okay, all right.
Okay, just letting you guys know. All right,
Thanks.
Victoria.
All right. Yeah, she can join when she gets back. All right, Victoria, you ready?
Okay.
All right, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hello, judges. My name is Victoria Lee. I'm a high school senior, and I was born in Fremont, California, relocated to Shanghai when I was 5 years old. While there, I have traveled to a lot of Asia countries to experience the culture. I relocated back to Fremont in the recent years, and I think this experience has made me more appreciative of both culture and knowing how to speak multiple languages. Some of my hobbies include international Latin and standard dancing, American smooth drawing, and Chinese calligraphy. I am currently working on several projects focusing on environmental protection and public health, and I hope to become an attorney in the future. My platform is to inspire others to pursue their passion and find confidence in response to the issue of bullying.
Thank you. That is about 49 seconds.
49 seconds. Okay, so you started off, I'm really glad you started off saying you're a high school senior, because it kind of differentiates the fact that you do have a little bit of an age gap. And so that kind of helps set the mood for them to have a different expectation. Obviously, having some years on like will help you have a better public speaking experience as well, you know? So that's a good way to go in. But after that, you started talking about you were in Shanghai until like you're 5, and then went back to Asia, but then that went on till 20 seconds. And so again, it's a kind of similar idea of what I just said to Olivia, is like, what value does it bring when you mention that? It's great to mention that you were, going back and forth in Asia, but you can also say that in a very quick like sentence, and then talk about something else that you really want them to know, because unless you have a reason why you want the judges to ask about why you move back and forth, like I don't see that you don't really need to have that in there. And I really like that you talked about your hobbies and the things that you're involved in, and then went into the platform. So it was short and sweet, and just kind of figure out what else you really want to talk about for them to like initially ask you the follow-up question. Again, this is kind of important, because if they don't ask you guys questions from the resume, for the thing they will fall back likely is, tell me about yourself. And if your answers, either I noticed if some people are answering all the, like I asked you a question, and let's say you answered that question, but you started answering another question that I was going to do a follow-up question on, then I'm left with no questions, which means I get to ask any random question that I can think of on the spot. Because if you think about it, for judges, they could also be nervous. So then they're just going to think of the most random things, which a lot of you guys also experience, as I called you guys randomly to ask, right? If we were like, oh shoot, like what am I going to ask? It's the same thing for the judges. So if you want to be able to take charge of that conversation, you want to be able to give enough information for them to like dabble, and then be able to follow up a question on that. So think about what you guys want to tell them, and then what you want them to follow up on. Okay.
Melanie is still wishing happy birthday. So any other feedback from anyone else? No? All right, cool. Let's go on to Lan already went. Tara, ready to tell us a bit about yourself?
Oh, wait.
Oh, all right, are you there?
Sorry. Okay, I'm good.
All right.
Wait, before you go, sorry, I have to leave. It's my brother's birthday. We're gonna have dinner right now.
I already told him.
Okay, sweet. Thanks. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye. Good luck on Saturday.
Melanie.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, dear dude.
Okay, Tara, and tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, so my name is Huang Mei Hua, or Tara Nash is my English name. I'm from San Mateo, California, the local Bay Area, and I am half Chinese, half Irish, if you can't tell already. And here's a little bit about myself. So my mom immigrated here from Hong Kong, and although there were many language barriers, she overcame something called an ovarian fibroid, which is an illness that caused her to have a lot of surgeries and a lot of treatment. And it was just me and her at the time, so I had to learn very quickly how to talk to physicians, emergency responders, etc. And I noticed that there was a lack of respect, a lack of patient care, especially for my mom as an immigrant, due to whether that be the language barrier or other cultural difficulties. So watching this at the age of 12, it really planted the seed inside me that I want to become a physician. So I went to UC Berkeley. I just graduated 2020 and got my degree, and I'm working currently towards going to medical school so I can become an influential advocate for Asian American women and immigrants in reproductive health care.
Sorry, 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, feedback?
All right. Seems like I'm the only one talking today. Also, I just have to let you know, I have to get off in 7 minutes. So we'll
Perfect.
just try to go through as much. Oh, we only have a few left. Okay. Let's see. So you said you're half Chinese, half Irish. If you can't tell already, most people are not going to be able to tell which Hapa you are. So, I mean, I understand you're trying to add a little bit of humor, but maybe try to do it a little bit different way, because that one, I can't tell. I'm sorry, I can't tell what kind of the other half you are. And I think you did a really good job of, like, you know, setting yourself up for your platform in terms of starting off, you know, your personal story. You put an example and then follow through. And I got through Berkeley and I got into med school. So I think in terms of like flow, I think that's really good. And so if this is like what you really want to focus on, I think you got like the right direction. And it wasn't like too much like information. So if you want to kind of like write it down in the beginning, if you want to know how to start off right away, and then maybe that could be tidying it up a little bit, but otherwise, like, you know, the latter part is good in terms of the flow.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Nana, you ready? All right, Nana, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Nana, and English is my second language. I was born in China, and I moved here when I was 11. I am a real estate broker associate, so I focus a lot on residential recently, but I've had projects working on real estate development. This is why I have been traveling back to China for back and forth in the US for many years in the recent years. I love my job because I get to meet new people and I get to work on different projects that's able to create job opportunities. So we can provide human resource output. Yeah, and I am happy to be here. Thank you.
1 minute and
I
seconds.
messed up. Like, I could do better next time.
That's cool. That's fine. So feedback, Dara?
Ouch. So in the beginning, you started off saying English is a second language. I think it's definitely a thing to make a point. Obviously, like, there is a little bit of disadvantage with language, but if you don't want them to point out your make focus on that language barrier necessarily, then I wouldn't say like say something that's like let's say that, oh my god, I have a zit on my face, please don't look at it. You're going to obviously look at it because I just pointed it out to you, right? So it's the same concept. Like, if you don't want someone looking at something, then you just don't want to kind of shine light on it. Not necessarily saying that it's a thing to be embarrassed about, but it's not something that you don't have to, like, you know, emphasize. You can emphasize more of your strength, you know, say something about things you want them to ask. And then let's see, and then you talked about immigrating 11 years old and kind of giving a little bit of background. Maybe you can just turn that a little bit more into focus of like what you really wanted to tell them. And let's see, what was your platform? I think I may have. So if I have to ask the question of like, what was your platform? It's probably, well, did you want to talk about your platform? I guess that's the first question, you know? And so then I guess that was fine. But maybe think about things you want them to know about you. Again, this is just so you guys know, whoever went on earlier I'm not saying I gave more feedback earlier on, and then as I go, it's getting less and less. It's just because you guys already heard me say it, and I noticed like people are kind of picking it up. So don't take it too personally, like if you feel like you got more feedback. But anyway, so again, reiterating what I said is that you want to make sure you're talking about the things you want them to ask. You take charge of that room, okay? So let's go to the next one. Oh my God, 2 minutes. Okay, you know what? Yeah, let's just go through everybody.
All right. Diamond.
Really quickly.
All right, Diamond, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Diamond Ripka. I am half Japanese. I was born and raised in California, and I'm now living in Australia. It's my personal philosophy to constantly challenge yourself for personal growth, and I do this by asking the questions why and how. It wasn't until I was living in China that I realized the importance of sharing this philosophy with other people. I was teaching in China, and I was suddenly placed in this leadership position to design and create a safe space for young individuals to challenge themselves, ask themselves, why and how. And once I experienced this in China, I realized that this is the legacy I want to leave behind. I want to create a space meant to help others grow and challenge themselves. I'm now living in Australia, and I'm doubling down my efforts to launch a skincare company. And through this skincare company, I really hope to create this safe space for other individuals to come to and to find ways that they can challenge and push themselves.
1 minute, 3 seconds.
Ooh, look at you. Shine bright like a diamond. It's so much for you weren't ready. All right. So
honestly, it's only because I've been listening to everyone else's and I'm like, ooh, good tip. Ooh, good tip.
Yeah, see, as I said, it's not because, I'm personally picking on someone. I'm just giving feedback since you guys heard it enough. That's why. Okay, so you did a really good job. And what I really liked about the one you did, so she gave an introduction of like her being half Japanese. Obviously this is important because it's an Asian pageant, and then she went straight in, this is my philosophy. She literally gave it to me. It's not like she went around the bushes to tell me what her philosophy is. My philosophy is to understand, is to challenge myself. I want to ask why. And so she gave that immediately. So she gave like the point of it, and then she went in to say, so I want to do that. When I went to China, when I was teaching English, I want to provide a safe space for these kids as well. And I kind of went in and also showed her ambitions as well, and then wrapped it up pretty well. So this is like the flow you guys kind of want to have. Again, like you don't want the judges to be extracting information from your wordiness because they already went through so much. Their brain is going to be draining. I mean, like for me, I've been having meetings with you guys like throughout from yesterday for like about from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. So like for me, I can understand that feeling. So if I have to spend extra energy to extract that information, then it's just going to go. Okay, so be direct and then try to like elaborate like very concisely. Okay, next.
Okay.
2 more.
So Stella, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, my name's Sheetal Rao, but I go by Stella. Growing up, I realized that in my culture, mental health isn't really talked about. And although my mom was there for me, I found that songwriting and baking were great ways to cope. For baking, it led to my passion for Bellyache Bakery. Bellyache Bakery is my bakery that destigmatizes mental illness and provides resources to those in need. With Bellyache Bakery, I found that the chemistry part of baking a cake can be very hard, but the decoration, the sky was the limit. It helped me de-stress so much. And with Bellyache Bakery, all my cakes are based on psychological concepts, and I really also hope they inspire open-mindedness. Thank you.
39 seconds.
39 seconds. All right. So on yours, okay, so it seems like you're getting more, getting onto your point, which you made that improvement. I think that for you, maybe focus on the tone. So, I mentioned about going up, but at the same time, it's not quite monotone, but it's like bi-tone. So you want to try to actually have a little bit more tones to feel like I'm actually having a conversation with you, So just that they're engaged.
Excellent.
All right.
So, and then one more. Daisy, you ready? All right, Daisy, tell us a bit about yourself. Oh, and you're mute. Let me reset the clock.
Oh man, okay.
Ready? And tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Daisy Chung. I am a world traveler, a big people person, and I'm a first-generation Chinese American. When I was little, I was instilled with this I can do it, nothing's impossible attitude. And with that, I fell into a career of tech sales. Born and raised in San Francisco, I was rep of the year when I first started. That led me to being asked to move to New York to be a manager. And then from there, led me an opportunity to move to LA to start a sales office. Sales has given me so much in my life, not only professionally and personally. So my mission is to inspire more women to sales and leadership roles, specifically because sales is not just a career, but it's a segue to other aspects of your life to drive success. Thank you.
46 seconds. Dara has her thoughts about ready to present to you.
Oh no, I was just taking notes. How many seconds?
46.
40 what?
46.
46 seconds. All right. So that was good. Let's see. Also, you kind of incorporated that idea of like, you know, like can-do attitude. Like you kind of incorporated being very direct about like what you want to say about yourself. So that was really good. So you wanted them to know about you, about traveling, and you wanted them to know that sales, which is your platform. So those are the two things. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was like really good flow. I think you were able to incorporate a lot of like the feedback that I've been giving a lot of people. That was, yeah. And so like you guys have to think about like engagement, not about just like talking. You don't want to be talking at the judges. You want to be able to still have them feel like they're engaged, you know? So, and get their attention, whether like, you know, it can be a storytelling, but that gets them to be engaged, you know? So you want to think about how you're going to do that. So like, for example, if I was to say something like, oh, hi, my name is Dare. And if my friends had to describe me, they would say I'm a go-getter. And so like, you want to come up with like something, words or things that would kind of grab their attention, like why would they say that, right? So you want to pick, like, obviously word choices are important, and you want to try to get like attention getter, like kind of go back to like high school thinking of like English classes, first sentence being the thesis, you know, the main topic, the juicy stuff, and then try to also do the attention getter type of thing. So if you can do that, it can also start off like very interesting, get very engaged as well. But overall, you know, you guys are doing really well. And again, this kind of question is always good to have handy. So I think it's good for you guys to sit down, figure out what information you want to share with them.
All right, perfect. And I think that you have an appointment you need to get to.
Yes,
and
I
so
do.
All right. So, okay, I'm going to end the recording right here.